Hello, my friend. Looks like you've reached us again. Just out today in a snowstorm. I just got out of my car and I'm hitting the trail here. We did have a crazy overnight snowstorm. Windstorm was, I don't know, 60 or 65 mile per hour gust of wind. And we got about 3 inches of snow. They've downgraded that today. They're saying snow squalls. And we're supposed to get 40 mile per hour gusts of wind. And I've definitely seen that. It's a little bit crazy out here. And I'm not using my regular camera because I'm worried with this snow and this wind, it's going to damage it. So hopefully this footage is okay. Hopefully the sound is okay. And I've got about a 20-minute walk here. And I'm going to try to find my little quiet place in the woods, hopefully to shelter us from some of this wind because it is crazy. And I might get back to you then. For now, stick with us. Well, the wind isn't so bad here. I might just post up here and see if I get the tent set up. Okay, so now I've got the corners staked out. I've got 6 stakes in there. There's a total of 12 that came with this. Now you're going to need either a stick from the woods. I've got my walking pole here, and then you basically lift up the tent. So now I've got the tent just about staked out. What I'm using here, hiking pole set at 51 inches. If you don't have one, you can just cut a stick. Today it's going to be much easier to use this, so that's what I did. And when I lifted this in, it did pull one of these stays out, so I'm going to just put that back. Okay, so we've got it just about set up. It's not as tight as I'd like, so I'm going to go adjust some of the other tent pegs here. Setting up this tent is normally pretty easy, but today we've got a little bit of frozen ground in places and this crazy wind. A couple of times I was sure this thing was coming down, but so far it's holding up pretty nicely. And you know what? It's so much warmer in here. It's crazy how much warmer it is. They're saying this is a 2-person tent. I'm 6 feet long. I fit in here perfectly, and there's a lot of room for another person and maybe just a tiny bit of gear. So far I'm pretty happy. We're going to see how it holds up with all this wind. There is a nice little vent back here, and I do occasionally feel a little bit of wind coming through there, which is to be expected. Again, this is a 3-season tent, and it's not really made for the 4th season, but we're here, we're testing it. I want to see how it does. So far, it's keeping me nice and warm, keeping the wind out of here, which is making me pretty happy. So I'm just going to sit here and relax, and I'm going to think about maybe cooking up a nice meal and just hunkering down in here for a while to stay out of that cold. Well, I had a nice little nap in here. Just relax for a bit to see how it would be. Got a few little drafts from the outside, but nothing too major. And I'm getting kind of hungry. So I think I'm going to set up a very quick meal that I planned. All right. If you guys are on my channel, you've probably seen this stove before. It's a little canister stove, but sits on the ground and has a pretty wide footprint here. So we're going to try that out. Now, I'm not recommending that you cook inside of a tent, but I could see there's lots of ventilation here. I got vents at the top here as well, and they're all letting air in, so I've got a lot of airflow in here, so I'm not worried about anything crazy like that. So let's see if I can get this thing going. There we go. I got my trusty little frying pan here. Now today, of course I like my hamburgers, but I decided to kick it up a notch today. And I ended up getting some short ribs. So I got them all ground up. I got my butcher to ground it up for me. I asked him to leave a little bit of fat in there as well. Get this pan warmed up. Don't really like how it's sitting in the snow, but kind of is what it is right now. Oh boy, I don't have that much oil left. Should have enough though. A little bit of olive oil here. So today was supposed to be super high winds, and we also had snow squall warnings. We did have a couple of snow squalls coming in, but it didn't seem to last. So literally like a 10-minute snow squall is what we got. All right, so looks like our oil's warmed up nicely. Throw that in there, and I love to smash burgers down. You ever never tried this? I do it all the time. Just a way to get that burger patty super thin. And the more surface area you have with the pan, the more the burger crusts up. And of course I got with it a pretty sorry looking brioche bun. It got squished, I guess, on the trip in. Write down in the comments, what do you think of this tent so far? This is the OneTigris Tetra. There's a couple versions of this tent. This is the small version. There's a larger version with, has an insert with another mesh tent in there. I guess better for the summer and fall, keeping the mosquitoes out and such. But I kind of prefer this. There's no floor in it. Of course, kind of making a mess in here, but it is what it is. With that burger. Oh yeah. Look at that. Beautiful crust on that. Just a quick note for you, my friend. If you aren't subscribed to my channel, I'd really appreciate it if you did, especially if you like this kind of content, being in the outdoors, bushcrafting, camping, that kind of thing. I've got a lot of videos for you to watch, and you'll get notified the next time one comes out. So consider it. Back to the video. So far I'm checking around here. We've been cooking for like 5-6 minutes. And you know what? No condensation. I'm pretty impressed. I think this big vent in the back here is really taking care of a lot of the condensation. Better than many of the tents I've used in the past. There's also vents up at the top here. Okay, just checking my notes here. This is the urban gray color of the OneTigris Tetra. This is edition 130. They have an edition 160, which is a little bit larger and also has an insert. I believe that one also includes a pole. This one does not. 7.4 feet by 7.2 feet by 4.2 feet tall. So that's the size, and it is pretty big. Saying it's 1 to 2 people, you can definitely fit 2 people in here. Not with a lot of gear, but you can comfortably fit 2 in here, I believe. And it's holding up really nicely. You know you can bring it on at least some wind the way it is. So yeah, so far I'm really liking this thing. Oh, and it weighs in at 1.1 kilograms. They're saying the waterproofing is a 3,000 millimeter rating. Check that out, people. Hamburger is awesome. Took me literally 5 minutes to make this. Well, look at it now. Beautiful sunny day. Looks like the storm has for the most part passed. We're still getting a few wind gusts. It's nothing crazy, but definitely not like before. We had some squalls when we got here, and now it's just a little bit breezy. Temperature isn't too bad either. So far, I've been quite impressed with this OneTigris tent. Remember, there's one pole. That pole's not included to set it up. You can make one in the woods if you have to. There are 12 tent stakes, and the sides do guy out to give you a little bit of extra room. They're saying it's a 1 or 2 person tent, and yeah, it is. It actually is. Sometimes you get a 2-person tent, and you can barely fit 1 in there. This one, I'm saying you could fit 2 full-grown people in there, and maybe a tiny bit of gear. I'm 5'11". I fit just fine. And yeah, there's lots of room for me and my gear, and I'm pretty sure if one of my kids wanted to come out and camp, we could do that as well. So far, I have no real concerns about the product. The stitching looks really good. The venting is excellent. I was in there cooking a full meal. Remember, it's not just the steam from the meal in there, it's me being in there, and also the butane burning. There's a lot of steam being released, and it actually handled it really well. We've got those 2 vents on the top, and we've got that 1 huge vent on the bottom. That one you could feel lets in a little bit of air, and it's also adjustable too. So in the summer, if you want a little bit more airflow, just slide it off the toggle, and then now you've got a full window back there letting in a lot of fresh air, which is probably what you want. Now, what is it that you think of this tent? Is this something that you would have in your pack? Is this something you would camp in? Would you camp in a storm like the one we had today, 40-mile-an-hour winds? At times I thought the tent might come down. It didn't. It stayed up. No issues whatsoever. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate your support. If you aren't subscribed, consider doing that. And I'd love to see you in the next video. Till then, take care. We'll see you soon, my friend.